Hey everyone, welcome back to This Week in Niche Pursuits News. And I think we've got a good one here today, Jared. We have a ton of news topics to go through, several. And so there's going to be a lot of quick hits here in the news, and then a couple that we spend a little bit more time on because I think they're more pertinent to publishers or more interesting to content creators. And then, of course, we're going to move on to our shiny object shenanigans. I'll just let the cat out of the bag. We're going to be talking Amazon influencer. We're right here in Black Friday, Cyber Monday week just finished. And so we're going to share some of our results. Big numbers. That's all I'll say. And so we'll share exactly what's going on there. And then we're going to bring it home with our weird niche sites. We've got a couple of good ones, a couple of fun ones. I will just say that I have met the person that owns this weird niche site that I'm going to bring up today.
In the
so
flesh.
A very unique thing. So stay tuned for that. But first of all, Jared, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I mean, you kind of teased it a bit, but it's interesting to see how many news items there are to talk about when we just finished Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and none of our news topics have to do with Black Friday or Cyber Monday. That's how much news we have to get through.
That is very true. Yep, our only sort of news about Black Friday is our shiny objects.
Yeah,
And so
that's good. It's good when shiny object stuff is noteworthy enough to show up on a Black Friday discussion.
That's exactly right.
Before we jump into the podcast, I wanted to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. Here's a short clip of Ferry from Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
This is how we landed massive links for our client in The Sun, a DR90 website, and many other UK news websites. We have used freely available data from YouGov to simply find out what the nation's favorite car brand is and which brands people love the most. Of course, Rolls-Royce came out on top, Aston Martin second, and Jaguar third. We put these insights in a short email and sent it to journalists that write about cars and to national news desks on behalf of our client. Within a few days, our client got featured in all the Suns, as well as many regional newspaper sites in the UK, gaining DR90 links to their leasing comparison website. YouGov website is full of unlimited PR stories with data already available for free. All you have to do is to start researching their data and start asking the data questions. You will be surprised of the unlimited PR campaigns that you will find there that can help you build massive exposure and links to your or your clients' websites. I hope this video is helpful and inspirational.
If you want similar link building PR campaigns for your website, head to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them now.
Good thing. That's a good thing. So, first off is news that the Google Core update finished. The November Google Core update. It finished just 2 days ago, I guess. It took, what was the time? It usually takes...
A month. It took a month.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was just looking at 26 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
We announced it on the podcast 4 weeks ago, I believe.
Wow, that's a long one.
It was real. I mean, what? I could theorize so much. Maybe we won't get our November, December update because this one took so long. I don't know.
Maybe so. Yeah, usually it's been about 2 weeks, like 14 days. I think the 2 previous core updates for this year were 2 weeks.
Worth of core updates are always 2 weeks. Yeah.
Very interesting. So 26 days, maybe that's the most noteworthy thing of this core update is that it took so long to roll out, because I didn't see any major fluctuations in my websites. I don't know if you've seen anything on your end or heard any chatter going on. What have you heard?
Definitely saw movement on client websites.
Okay.
A lot of it didn't see. So I didn't see client related stuff. I didn't see much movement from HCU recovery. So I saw clients, and most of my clients are more e-com, more service businesses. They're not like your typical niche site, although we do have some of those. But saw some people that maybe had a little decline in, say, the August core update or the October core update. We definitely had a couple that recovered and then grew beyond that. Saw 2 clients that went down a bit in this November update. By a bit, I mean 10 to 20%, that had won in both August and October core updates. I did see, as it relates to niche sites, some conversation in John Dykstra's Fat Stacks community about somebody who had a full recovery from the HCU, posted screenshots and everything.
Yeah. And so This article here on Search Engine Land, kind of verifies that, saying that what they saw that it was pretty big in number of terms of sites that saw ranking volatility, right? And so it appears to have been a pretty big one. So maybe I lucked out or didn't luck out. It didn't seem to impact my sites too much, which I'm always just happy with.
Yeah, at this
If
point,
things can, yeah,
no news is
if
good
things
news.
Pretty much. So that's about it, I think, for the Google November Core update. Just kind of a quick hit here in terms of it finished. Check your sites, see if there's anything that you can do. The one thing maybe to point out is that the November Google Reviews update is still going on. So those were overlapped currently. So there is that update still
Of
happening right now.
course, because why wouldn't you?
Of course. Yeah. Google likes to keep things interesting, but maybe we're done for the holidays for
I
updates.
You
Let's
and I both
hope so.
kind of both agreed, like, that one's definitely coming. I don't know, I'm a little more reticent on that, but, I mean, let's be honest. Why would I change my mind now if I still
It,
I'm still bullish on it. I still
we'll,
think another
we'll
one's
have a
gonna come.
we'll have a Christmas Eve present, perhaps coming
There
at the
you
end of
go.
December. We'll
Christmas
see.
Eve, it's gonna hit.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, well, this next subject feels like a little bit bigger one, a little bit more controversial in terms of what people are seeing. There's a lot of chatter about what happened here, so I'll jump into it. Of course, as soon as I share this, I've got a big ad. Okay, so on futurism.com, they reported that Sports Illustrated published articles by fake AI generated writers. And then in the subtitle, pretty good. We asked them about it and they deleted everything. And that's pretty much what it sounds like happened. So as I read through this article, they found authors, like here's an example. This is Drew Ortiz, that didn't have any social media presence at all. You couldn't find anything about Drew Ortiz except for what he had written on sportsillustrated.com. And then they did some more research. They found his profile image was an image that is for sale on generated photos, on an AI generated photos website. So, a lot of telltale signs that, hey, this is an AI generated author. And then they spoke to some people that didn't want to say who they were and say, yeah, a lot of these articles are definitely AI generated. Sports Illustrated has published several articles that are AI generated. They're using fake authors with AI images. And then, so Futurism reached out to Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated didn't respond at first, but they did delete all the articles that were questionable, that had kind of been brought up. So all the content, all the authors that were AI were deleted. And then, so the other side of the story is that Sports Illustrated did respond. And the full quote is here. I won't read it, other than they basically say, hey, we've licensed content. We basically have had a contractor, Advon Commerce, and they published articles for us. And we didn't realize that they were using AI generated people and content. And so Sports Illustrated is trying to say, hey, we're innocent here. We hired somebody, it's their fault, and we've removed all their content and will not be working with them anymore. So there's the story. What do you think?
We've been waiting for the ball to drop on something like this. I mean, for clarity here, it sounds like Sports Illustrated is kind of doing what I do as a living. Like, they're hiring an agency to produce content for them. And whether it's been explicitly talked about and it was broken, or whether it was not explicitly addressed, the contract did not seem to have clarity around the use of AI. And this Advon group, which I have them up on my screen here. There's not much on them online. This Advon group clearly was doing stuff that they weren't covering their tracks very well. And so it does bring to light for all of us, certainly the risks and rewards of using contractors and other companies to help us as we grow our business, even down to building out our individual websites. We don't know if our writers are using AI. There are AI checkers, and we could get into that whole debate and all that. But the point is, like, this interesting backlash that's created because there wasn't transparency around the AI. And I think that's really the core of the article, is the transparency. Should Sports Illustrated if they had known, should it be publicly said this is AI or not? And are you allowed to publish AI content without saying that it's AI to people, right?
Right. Exactly. It feels like when you're a major corporation like Sports Illustrated, or others that
Yeah.
have been caught, CNET, Bankrate, others owned by Red Ventures, and, there's BuzzFeed. Anyways, when you're a major corporation like this, you probably should be disclosing things a little bit more readily, especially if you're going to put up fake authors, fake images. That feels like,
The fake author
I,
thing seems more egregious to me than the fake
yes, yes,
content. It's not, I mean, AI content, sorry.
yeah,
Freudian slip there, but
yeah,
no, like the fake author, I agree. Like that is one step further. Again, we're just talking about how we feel. Like there's no data to
yeah.
suggest it is, but I feel exactly what you're saying. That big corporations, I don't think they're towing the line quite right. And this article and the backlash that got created is showing that. But you're
Yep.
right. It's one thing to publish AI content and make out like it's real humans writing it. It's another thing to have a fake author profile on a major corporation. And by the way, I know you didn't mention it, but it was found that Sports Illustrated, who is owned by the Arena Group, it was also found that this is happening on The Street, another publication under the Arena Group. So this is
Ah,
kind of happening in all of their brands, right? Not just in this one isolated incident.
yep. And what's fascinating, another just tidbit of information is I know a couple of people that have worked for sort of gaming, sports, online gaming. They've worked at SEOs at these companies, and they say that, man, the companies they work for use a ton of AI generated or AI assisted content,
I'm
right?
guessing we know the
So
same person, and you're exactly right.
probably so. And I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. And I don't know if that company discloses or how that all goes. But I have to imagine this is an issue that many companies beyond Sports Illustrated are grappling with or have embraced. I mean, it appears that most of these companies have just embraced in terms of, we're going to publish AI content. But I feel like, again, the line was probably crossed in terms of, hey, we're creating fake people and not telling anybody. We're making readers think, oh, this Ortiz guy, whatever it was, is real. Drew Ortiz, you're right. And then there was other examples, right,
The
of
flip
fake
side is
authors.
it's the wild wild west with all of this. And how as a brand do you know where the line is until you kind of cross it, right? I wonder
Yeah,
if internally these brands are like, no one knows what the line is in terms of what people are willing to accept or not accept. And how do we know that line until we cross it? Maybe that's part of the strategy and long-term learning what AI, where AI's role is in a company like the Arena Group. Maybe corporately speaking, it's like, well, let's keep pushing the boundaries until we cross a line that from a PR standpoint, from an engagement standpoint, from a readership standpoint, we feel we've crossed too far. And then there's the line. Now we'll stick within it.
right. And I don't know what kind of articles they were writing, but if they were SEO focused, I know a lot of the chatter on Twitter was like, okay, Google, now how do you feel about
Ex-
this content? You've got a very authoritative website publishing AI content. Are you still ranking it? Where's your EEAT, right? You've got fake
exactly.
author, no experience,
Going back to
none
the
of
fake
this.
author, this stuff should
Yeah,
not rank in Google's EEAT environment. It absolutely should not
exactly.
rank. It doesn't matter if it's on a DR87 site.
Exactly. Exactly. And so it's interesting to watch because, and we haven't done the study to determine, okay, how well is AI content for Sports Illustrated and other companies ranking? But
That's we need
it's
to get Glenn on that
definitely,
from detailed.com. It's a great thing Glenn would excel at.
yes, there you go, Glenn, if you're listening. Put together a whole study of, AI generated articles, how they're ranking, and is it just based on DR?
Sure feels
Right.
that way.
Yep. So there you go. Kind of a very interesting story, something for people to keep their eyes on because it's just going to happen more and more,
Yeah.
right? There's going
This
to be
is the
more of
tip
this
of the
type of
iceberg.
content out there. So, all right. The next story that is, I find pretty fascinating here is that the federal government reaches deal with Google on Online News Act. And
Canadian
this is
federal
for
government.
Canadian. Yes, the
Yeah.
Canadian federal government, right? And so this is CBC News, cbc.ca, right? Canadian news. But basically, Google and the federal government, they've reached a deal on this big online news act. It's been going on for a while, basically, where Google has agreed to pay online Canadian publishers up to or roughly in the range of $100 million a year to publish their news content on Google. So a win for news publishers. Certainly, they're actually going to get paid by Google to publish their news content. I believe there was some sort of agreement in the EU as well over the last year or two that news organizations, don't quote me for sure, but I seem to recall that there has also been some sort of legislation and agreement where Google is going to pay for news content in those countries, and so this has happened. I would say it's very interesting. Google's not paying me for my content just yet, but they are in Canada for news publications.
The numbers all get a little squirrely when you start adding so many zeros on them. But given the conversations we've been having around Google, their revenue that they make, reference past news podcasts to see that this 100 million seems like, I mean, a literal drop in the bucket, like almost like a mistake in accounting almost for them. I mean,
Like, go away, make this
it's
problem
like,
go away.
I
Yeah.
really would rather not pay our lawyers. So here's 100 million. Just can we just please just publish, and I'm being
Yeah.
somewhat facetious for the record, but it does feel like a small amount. I read that the Canadian government was asking for 172 million. So maybe it's not that laughable, but it seems like, I mean, I don't know about you, Spencer, but I have access to a lot of websites, work with a lot of websites, and the Canadian market is usually the number three traffic market in the US markets,
Yeah.
right? Like, so
Mhm.
I feel like traffic from Google News in that area is a substantial amount that Google should be concerned with. And to get that back for 100 million seems like 100 million a year seems like a pretty good deal to me.
Yeah. And so it sort of begs the question, right? Are there going to be other countries to follow? Is there going to be another domino here that falls of either news organizations, or does it broaden beyond just news publishers?
Yeah.
Where at some point Google is no longer able to just scrape everything for free and publish it. I don't know, but news is, I think, in particular unique, right? Because it lives on the news app, right? It truly is content
Yes.
that Google uses in their apps, right?
Yes.
And so, anyways, just very, very interesting development here as it relates to the news.
And
So,
again, I think overall, like if you have to take a look at it as a content creator, it's hard to take a lot from this because every government's different, everything. But in general, just kind of seeing Google being open to spending money directly for content is probably not a bad thing.
yep, exactly. Okay, well, we've got some more Google news here. This is related to, well, again, sort of companies not real excited about Google crawling their website and not getting a whole lot in return. This is the number of websites blocking Google Extended jump 180%. And as I understand, Google Extended is the standalone product token Google introduced to help you block Bard, Vertex AI, generative APIs. Anyways, you're basically blocking the ability for Google to crawl your site and use your data for Bard and its AI models, right? And so it's jumped 180%. So you got the New York Times, Yelp, Condé Nast, all their properties, 22 properties, and many others that are deciding, you know what, we're going to just block the Google bot so it can't train its AI models anymore. And we mentioned this for websites blocking OpenAI has jumped a ton. We mentioned that a few months ago as well. And so it kind of seems like it's becoming almost the norm, certainly among large corporations, to just block these AI crawlers.
And to be clear, a couple things there. Not that you misspoke, but to just make sure to drive it home. This is about blocking the quote unquote Google Extended bot, which is the standalone product token specifically focused on allowing you to block Bard, Vertex AI, generative APIs, and future generations of those models. So I do believe all these sites still allow the standard Google bot for search ranking to crawl.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you'd be forgiven if you are thinking, wait, didn't they already talk about this? We've referenced this in previous episodes about the GPT OpenAI bot. This is about the Google's AI bot. So we've seen this play out with OpenAI bot, and now we're seeing it play out with Google bot. Google's
Exactly.
AI bot. Sorry, I'm tripping all over myself here.
There's a lot. There's a lot here. One other thing that kind of bugs me a little bit about this search engine land article is where did they get this data? They've got one sentence and no attribution.
I saw
That's
that.
according to research shared
Come on.
exclusively with Search Engine Land by the Detailed.com team.
It even says
That's Glenn. We've already
Yeah.
given Glenn Alsop two shout outs now on the podcast. Where's the link? Where's
That's
the
what
love?
Well, I love Search Engine Land, but this is
Yeah.
I've published articles there, and this is how they do things. It's just come on. I mean, fine, make it
the whole reason
follow.
the whole reason this article exists, apparently,
Exactly.
right,
I don't know.
is because of Detail.com.
Looks like Glenn
We'll add a
provided it
link
to
in
them.
our show notes.
Yeah, we will. Man, I tell you, couldn't
We're
have
gonna
at
add a
least been a
link.
no follow link. You got the data from. Sorry,
mean, come
that's
on.
hilarious because I saw the
So-
exact same thing and it drove me nuts.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is cool data. Wait, where's the link?
So bad.
All right. So that's the big news as well.
Things
so related
things that bug Jared and Spencer.
Yeah. Oh boy, we could go on and on. I think there's a
Full
lot.
hour with that.
But I got something that kind of bugs me with Google Bard that we're going to talk a little
You're
bit
going
more.
on about this. Okay, this is a thing now.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. Well, it's going to go into our next news item because Google Bard just announced, I guess they just announced it this week, that you can now summarize YouTube videos, which I think is very cool.
I agree.
I think that's very cool because you couldn't do this in ChatGPT. You couldn't pop in a URL to a YouTube video. Maybe you can do it now. But I don't think so. And you can get a summary. It can write out the transcript. It could anything you want, right? About the YouTube video. You just pop it in and it crawls it and it gives you everything. And so I did this last night. So I said, hey, I gave it one of my videos, my Google Discover, video. I just popped in the first one and said, hey, can you summarize this for me? And, it did a good job of the summary, except for one thing.
Nick, who's Nick?
It says the speaker, Nick, shares 7 examples. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Why is Nick? And then it goes on and says it again. Here are some of the tips that Nick shared. And then it says Nick also shared a free download. I'm like, who is this Nick guy? Right? Like, why is Google Bard pulling out Nick as the creator of this video? And so I asked it, why do you think the speaker's name is Nick? The speaker's name is Nick. This can be inferred from the following. The speaker introduces himself as Nick at the beginning of the video, uses the I pronoun, and the video was uploaded by Niche Pursuits, which is owned by Nick. So who's this Nick guy, and how can I get in touch with him?
What's your middle name, Spencer?
Not Nick.
Not Nick.
So I just thought it was hilarious. I don't know why it's calling me Nick. I suspect, here was my one hunch, is that my brand name is Niche Pursuits.
See, I hadn't made that connection.
And maybe they think Niche is Nick. So anyways, I thought that was pretty funny.
It's probably the closest male name in association with niche in its repository, perhaps.
Yeah, it just seems so confident. No, the speaker introduces himself. It's the channel's owned by Nick. Anyways, the news topic here is really that Google can now summarize these videos. So let's see if it does a better job, actually, with a recent podcast interview. Can you summarize this interview? Please
one of the ones we just went live with?
Yeah, give the top strategies. And this will be Julian Goldie is the one that we just did. Oh, and I can't do it. I'm unable to access this YouTube content. It's not a valid YouTube link, perhaps. Well, it sure looks like it is. Well, maybe they're still working out the bugs here. Let me paste in that. I just went to the embed, see if that works. Well, okay.
Oh boy.
There you got it. We can't do a live demonstration, so we'll just say they're still working out the bugs if you want to test that out. But it's a cool idea. And it semi worked on my video last night.
Yeah, semi would be the right way to put it.
Yeah.
I have used ChatGPT to summarize YouTube videos, but the only way I've
Okay.
found to do it is that you have to go get the transcript and then load the transcript into ChatGPT, which
Right.
involves a couple extra steps. And really, I've noticed that the transcript comes with timestamps, and it isn't always as good. I would be curious to hear how Bard does pulling straight from the audio file. Do you
Yeah.
think they're pulling from the audio file, or do you think they're taking the transcript from YouTube behind the scenes? I would be curious to test it and see which one does a better, maybe recap, a better transcription, a better summary for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's very cool because I've had a lot of problems with doing essentially what you just said. Getting transcripts and summaries. It's a lot of work cobbling
It's just
together a couple different tools. If
it's
I
like
can just do it all in Bard, yeah,
exactly.
big time saver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll let people play with that. Still a work in progress, it looks like.
Thanks for that
All
news
right.
episode, Nick. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Nick's got your back any day of the week right here.
Nick's your new
Um,
alter ego.
I guess so. Google knows something about me that I don't. Um, all right. X is having problems.
Oh,
Twitter.
yeah, you're bouncing all over
Twitter's
the
having problems
you're
here.
bouncing all over the agenda today. I'm trying to keep up. So yeah, let's talk about this
Yeah.
X situation.
Yeah. Why not? So on search engine land, again, has written this article about X key advertisers aren't pausing campaigns; they're walking away, and it kind of jumps in here into a lot of companies: Disney, Paramount, Lionsgate, Sony Pictures, Universal have paused campaigns advertising, but now other brands have just stopped posting altogether.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot less engagement, a lot less posting by large brands on X. But then a lot of companies have just stopped advertising altogether. And the platform is estimated to lose as much as $75 million in ad revenue by the end of the year. And so, not good for Elon Musk. And of course, it all kind of comes back to Elon Musk being a little bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah.
People don't like the things that he says. According to this article, Elon Musk endorsed an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, which he has since refused to apologize for. So, anyways, again, kind of comes back to, Elon Musk in a lot of ways is his own worst nightmare. He's a loose cannon. People love him for that, or they hate him for that. He says what's on his mind, and it doesn't bode well if you're a large advertiser or trying to have a presence somewhere, and you disagree with the CEO of that company. So
I'll relate it to our industry. We've interviewed many people from different brokerages like FE International, Quiet Light, Empire Flippers on the podcast for the years, and I always ask them like, hey, what's the biggest thing that moves the needle in terms of your sale price of a website? Is it rapid growth? Is it multiple revenue channels? What is it? And they always say the exact same thing. Everybody always says the exact same thing, and they're like, stability. People want to buy a stable asset. Money wants to buy, and when it comes to advertising, like brands want stability. They don't want volatility. And like you said, like brands are walking away because of the volatility on the platform as it relates to Mr. Musk.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you don't have a place, just think about it. He's he's taken the platform from Twitter. He charges people subscriptions now. He's made, I don't know how many changes to the algorithm of how content ranks, and now it's called X instead of Twitter. So there's talk about unstable, right? Like it just is, right? And a lot of that, hopefully, at the end of the day, is progress. For X's sake, for Twitter's sake, hopefully it's all progress and it moves it to a bigger and better company. But yeah, I agree. As advertisers, it's like, okay, well, now what? Everything's changing.
Hey, sometimes you got to take one step back to take several steps forward. We don't know the strategy internally.
Yep.
These don't seem like brands you'd like to get rid of, even as part of a strategic step forward. But,
I don't think so.
sometimes the baby gets thrown out with the bathwater as it goes.
Yeah. And I always look at the flip side of this coin where it seems like advertising on Twitter should get cheaper for a lot of people. If all
That's
these
exactly what I
big
was thinking.
publishers are leaving, right, it should get a little bit cheaper because there's more ad inventory, right? Supply and demand.
Supply and
And
demand.
so it should cost me less to buy ads. But I haven't figured out Twitter advertising, I'll
Have you
be
tried it?
honest. We've dabbled with it
Yeah.
for Link Whisper a little
Yeah.
bit, and we couldn't quite get the conversion tracking to work, and we sort of put it on a shelf. Maybe we'll revisit that here again.
Yeah.
We'll
What
see.
about niche pursuits?
Yeah, niche pursuits haven't done advertising for that either.
You don't really
You mean
sell
just
anything.
to? Yeah, I mean I could gain more followers,
Yeah.
right? Maybe
On a
advertise
platform that might be
my.
dead in a year or two.
There you go. you know, ride the wave while it's here.
Hey, there you
You
go.
know, you
Cheap
know,
likes, Spencer. Cheap likes.
get some cheap likes, and boost my ego at least.
Ah,
So, okay, I think we're down to our last news item. This next one here,
Yeah.
and it's hard to know if this is like a huge announcement, a small announcement. I don't know. I think it's pretty big. It's coming from Amazon. So anytime Amazon has an announcement, and particularly about AI, it's kind of interesting. So Amazon introduces Q, an AI chatbot for companies. And for companies is the sort of key phrase there, because this is not a competitor of ChatGPT or of other consumer-facing chatbots. So they are going into the corporate business realm, basically a chatbot Q, to kind of query your own not personal, your business documents, right? So you can ask it a question about your financials or your company's policies or all sorts of the documents that as a corporation might live right within your business that you don't want outsiders to see. You can now chat with that and do a lot of cool things, right? Just kind of think about ChatGPT for your specific business. It can probably do financial projections or strategy or policies, procedures, all sorts of things. So it's going after what it feels like is probably bigger money, right? Instead of consumers, it's going after the companies with the deep pockets. Amazon Q. I don't know. Any thoughts about it, Jared?
I mean, it's interesting. It's very high level, right? And like I'm looking at the screen
Yeah.
here in terms of what's being shown, and like probably not as many use cases for people listening to this podcast. I find it fascinating that this seems to be a play that Microsoft typically would make, which is going towards the business market. Ironically, Microsoft obviously is a major stakeholder in OpenAI and ChatGPT. So they're almost flipping roles in many ways. Amazon does have a big business platform through AWS and all that, but
Yes.
oftentimes they're more known for targeting the consumer. And so I think it's interesting to watch like the tug of war happening on the corporate level where Microsoft is targeting the consumer with their end product of ChatGPT and Amazon's clearly targeting the business.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. It says it was developed by Amazon's cloud computing division, right? AWS. And so they do have that foothold, right, with large corporations that are using their servers. So
And
it
AWS
makes sense for that
it
division.
does.
Yeah.
AWS is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, like
It's
we kind of
massive.
don't think about it. At least I know my companies in the past have heavily used AWS, so I've seen the capabilities it has. And if you've ever, I mean, you'd be shocked to know there's a massive AWS conference every year in Las Vegas that's incredibly attended. Like it's up there with Salesforce's Dreamforce conference. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
interesting. AWS kind of flies under the radar a bit.
AWS is essentially the backbone of the internet.
It
Like
really is.
honestly,
Yeah,
like
you don't realize it though.
like every large website really is running AWS, and even a lot of probably our websites. You're getting cloud computing from, I don't know the company, so I won't name it, but your host, right?
Yep.
They're actually probably just spun up a server on
Yep.
AWS and they're reselling it to you, right? It's kind of the backbone of the internet.
Yep.
So, anyways, the news is that they've released Q, the chatbot, and yeah. So if anybody uses it, let us know.
Spencer, the Q. What do you think? Maybe an ode to the fictional James Bond character. I looked it up here. Q is the head.
You know your James Bond way
I
better than I do.
I do.
Yeah.
My wife and I, before children, watched the entire series of movies. But Q, the fictional research and development division of the British Secret Service.
I like it. it's an appropriate name, I would
Yeah,
say.
I don't know if it is purposely an ode to that or not, but I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes sense.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. Just wanted to take a short break and remind you that today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. I've got a short clip from Ferry at Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
Do you remember this campaign? It was all over the news. It is the most intelligent royal campaign, with over 100 links generated in the world's biggest online publications. This is one of the most viral PR campaigns of 2021. This is how we've done it. The methodology was pretty simple. We looked at the QS World University rankings for the institutions attended by key members of the royal family to discover which royal is the brightest of all. Meghan Markle came out on top, followed by Kate Middleton and Prince William. We put these findings in a press release and sent it to mainstream media and journalists who write about royals. From Russia to the UK, the US, Vietnam and Japan, this story got massive coverage, landing over 100 links and created a massive buzz on social media. Simple research, but a great story that journalists love to write about. I hope this will put you on fire and will give you inspiration.
Are you looking for similar link building PR campaigns for your website? If so, just go to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them today.
So, there we go. We went through our 6 or 7 news items. I think we made it out okay on the other end.
We're good. Look at that.
And I guess it's kind of news as well, jumping right into our shiny object shenanigans, is that it is very recent developments. We just had Cyber Monday, we had Black Friday, and we've got some results to share. So I guess I'll go first, I suppose. I'll just kind of kick it off because I suspect, because we've chatted a little bit, I suspect your news is a little more exciting than mine. Mine's not bad
I don't know
news or
about that.
anything. Okay, well, we'll see. Essentially, over the last month, I've had a huge backlog of videos that I've been trying to get uploaded in time for Black Friday. And I think we got most of them uploaded. We might have a couple more out there
Okay.
that have just kind of come in the last week or two. That
So you
maybe
have
aren't
been
up there
publishing
yet.
a lot of content.
Yes, been publishing a lot more.
That's what it feels like.
And but earnings, right, is sort of the key. And there definitely was a big jump in clicks on like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. My earnings have fluctuated around $115 to about $180 a day is kind of where I've lived in that range for the past week. Overall, if I look at my last 30 days, right now I'm at $2,700 in earnings. So it's not like mind blowing, but it's good. And if I can stay at this, $100 plus a day, right? I'm hoping that December ends up closer to $3,500, $4,000 for the month. And I think that would be pretty good. And then I guess, yeah, just final update. Let me look it up. Where am I
This
in
is the
terms
big
of
news.
total
Yep.
videos published?
The race to 1,000. It's on whether
The
you like it or
race-
not.
I haven't checked today. Oh, no, last couple days, no new videos published. 954
Yes.
videos. So I am I am so close. I heard a small celebration from Jared there, but I am so close to 1,000. I didn't quite make it. Jared, are you ready to just break my heart now, or like what's going on your side?
I have good news and bad news.
Okay.
Depends on whose side of the coin you're on. I haven't broken 1,000 videos yet.
Okay. All right.
But I
I
am
thought for
beating-
sure.
I am beating you. I have
Okay.
982.
Ooh, that's close.
Yep.
Boy.
982. So I think I was I behind you, or we were close? I don't remember all the history now. You and I've gone back and forth, neck and neck.
You
for
were
so long.
ahead for a while.
I was ahead for a
and then
while.
I uploaded 200. I was
Yeah.
at 750.
You just
or something.
uploaded
And then
200 and kind of casually didn't mention it. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How many do you have?
Yeah. And then you've been, so I'm very chunky,
Yeah.
right? You've been a little more consistent, it looks like.
Tortoise and the hare approach here.
Man, 900, 87? Is that what you said?
982. So what does that put me? 18
82.
away.
Oh man, I feel like you're gonna beat me. Now we canceled our bet, right? Officially on the
I
podcast, I
just don't
think.
think it ever took off. I think it's just
Okay.
it's more of a meme at this point.
Well, you can contact Nick, the head of Niche Pursuits,
Yeah,
and he'll pay
for my
you
earning,
out on
my
that
winnings.
wager. Yeah.
So I think this speaks to the crazy fluctuations that influencer earnings experiences because again, I don't remember when, but there's a period a couple weeks ago where your last 30-day average in terms of profit or earnings was higher than mine. Which again, I was shocked by because I felt like I was ahead of you for so long there, and then out of the blue, you're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm earning this much the past 30 days." I'm like, "Man, you're beating me by quite a bit." Um, for me, I'll share my earnings of the last couple days as they relate to you and last month. So my last 30 days right now just broke $4,000.
No way.
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome.
So November is going to break $4,000. What today we're recording on Thursday, November 30th. So in theory, we'll have November numbers tomorrow when this goes live, but I'll break 4,000, I guess, unless today is just an awful day somehow. I think I still will though, because there's 30 days.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
big.
So, and then the last 7 days I've had Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I've had lows. I mean, Thanksgiving was a low, but we know why, right? Like Thanksgiving, they're not shipping much. People are taking the day off. The lowest
Yep.
I've had, if you take out Thanksgiving, was $120. And the highest I've had is $390.
Whoa, almost a
Yeah.
$400 day.
$400 day. And so what
Did you just have a couple of big products that day?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't share exactly which products were
Makes
sold,
sense.
but I think I sold like 3 products that day that were over $2,000 each.
Wow.
I'm looking
Cool.
at shipped revenue that day. So the amount of money that the products were that I got credit for videos, and it was over $16,000 that day.
That's big. Yep. That'll do it.
Yeah. So if I do the math, then the last 7-day average, which again, I was averaging under $100 a day going into this, and the last 7 days to include Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but really a whole sales week, right? Like we've just seen Amazon's just been, everything's been on sale for the whole week basically, but the average has been $236 the last 7 days per day.
That is huge. Yeah, I am guessing that you have a lot more videos on higher end products, or slightly higher end, right?
Yeah, this has been interesting to talk about because I've been sharing on Twitter about how I'm actually not that impressed with the results. I am. I mean, it's obviously, but I will be honest, I was hoping for more and for bigger. And some other people that I've talked to have had much bigger results, like really big results. And I think I've cracked a bit of the code in terms of what led to my Black Friday earnings being where they're at. I'd like to talk with you more about yours. Maybe we can, I don't know, do that next week on the news podcast, make that kind of our shiny object special. But I'm going to address it in my November Amazon influencer YouTube video. So I am going to address it and talk it through.
Okay.
But I'd like to run the theory by you a bit because I think I have a pretty good understanding of what would lead to a much bigger Black Friday and Cyber Monday results next year. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. And just to tease, do you think it could be something that could lead to bigger results, bigger sales throughout the year? Or you think specifically Black Friday, Cyber Monday is what you're landing on? Yeah.
The general concept, I'll share it really quickly with you, is that there's certain things people buy on deep discount versus things people buy on non-deep discount.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And psychologically speaking, that makes sense. And so a lot more to go down that road. So it's not that simple, but there's a lot of threads to pull there. When you start pulling them and start doing some research, probably the first time I've ever done any research with this program, I just pretty much published a video about something I have. But
exactly,
I got a little fascinated by it. But yeah, I think there's something there. And certainly every time I've looked into it so far with other people or with myself, it's played out.
Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll try and chat about that a little bit more. Certainly people can go to your YouTube channel and see that video coming out in a week or whenever you publish that.
Get around to it.
Yeah.
First, we got to wait for the data to come through.
That's right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. Hey, we said, or we didn't say, I said, well, I'm not going to throw you under the bus here. I said that this sales period, this week was going to be very important for me to evaluate how I'm going to treat the influencer program in 2024 and beyond. Has it been influential for you in your decision? Has it swayed you one way or the other? Has it given you more confidence, less confidence? Has it just not really done anything for you? Like, what has this week done for you in terms of the influencer program?
Yeah, if I'm honest, I was hoping for a little bit more results
Amen.
than I'm seeing. I still want to let the full holiday
Okay.
season play out because there's still lots of buying to be done during December. But it's like okay. I mean, it's cool. Like I am still just like in love and fascinated with the influencer program,
It's
right?
doing better than your
Like
faceless YouTube channel.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's doing a lot better. But no website. You don't have to drive any traffic. Like I'm still just fascinated that you can just publish a video and make money. And like, let's take a step back. Like I'm going to make almost $3,000 this month.
It-
From this thing, and you're going to make $4,000. Like, so it's still very cool. We'll see if I'm going to like. The decision is: do I double down and like publish another 1,000 videos?
Yep.
Right? Or do I just kind of let it marinate after that? And maybe seeing these results, I'm thinking maybe I'll let it marinate a little bit, but I don't know.
One more thing on the influencer program. I crossed the 2,000 follower or subscriber mark on the Weekend Growth YouTube channel this week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I know. The
nice.
big numbers. What can I say? 2,000 subscribers. Just
That's big. A lot of
it's
people never hit that.
well, yeah, it's fine. It's good. I actually have a reason for sharing that, not to brag or anything. It is great. Thank you for those who do subscribe. But I thought it was a good opportunity to try to apply for another Amazon influencer account under the Weekend Growth brand with the YouTube account. Right, that's one of the 4 you can use to qualify for Amazon influencers. You can use YouTube,
Oh
TikTok,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Facebook, or Instagram. And so I did try to apply, and I got rejected. And
Oh.
I know I kind of thought in the back of my mind, like, well, as soon as I hit 1,000, as long as I have decent engagement on that channel, which I think I do, they get a lot of comments, and
Mhm.
every video does. So, but yeah, so I don't know if maybe it's getting harder, or maybe it's just random and somewhat arbitrary, or something about that YouTube account. But yeah, YouTube account with 2,000 subscribers and decent engagement got rejected this week from the influencer program. So
Not quite enough.
just
Huh.
thought I'd share that with
Yeah,
everybody
it,
listening.
it it's hard to know what they're looking for exactly, right? And since you mentioned your YouTube channel, I quickly pulled up Social Blade, which I kind of like using. Let you analyze
Ooh,
YouTube channels, right? You got the
nothing
weekend
beats
growth
nothing beats getting roasted
showing
here
that
live on the air. I haven't seen this.
getting no roasting. Over 2,000 subscribers. It gives you your subscriber rank. So
Hmm.
you rank 15,230th.
Wow.
But when you would think, wow, I have the 15,000th biggest channel.
And I still
It's
can't
like,
get on Amazon
well,
Influencer.
except when you read this, it
Yeah.
says this spot is shared with 25,000 other people. So that specific rank, 15,230th, like you share it, right? And how many people share? So in
That
other,
knocks you down a bit of a notch.
there's 7.7 million channels that have more subscribers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know if that humbles you or makes you feel good, but Social Blade is kind of cool. But yeah, you're still not quite there to get approved on the influencer
Well,
program.
you know
So
what, Spencer? The biggest thing I see there is C plus, and what I always say is C's get degrees.
that's right, man. You can make money with a C plus.
I'll take a C
That's all that
plus on
matters.
YouTube. I don't need to. I don't need to be an A.
That's right.
I mean, it's
It'll
not bad. No, being honest, it says
track
up there
up.
in the upper right, like user created April 20th, 2023. I mean, it's like what,
Yeah.
7, 8 months old now at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's great.
so could be doing better, yes, but overall, nothing to complain about.
Absolutely. No, I agree. So anyway, sorry to put you on the spot there, but I thought
So
I'd
good.
just pull up that channel since you were mentioning the number of subscribers and stuff. So
I would love if people in the comments have applied recently, or even over the last 6 months. If you've applied and are comfortable sharing, like maybe what account you applied under, like a YouTube versus Instagram, what your numbers were at, and whether you got accepted or denied, it'd be kind of fun to get some other feedback on that, and give people not an updated look on it, but the last we really talked about the application process and numbers you needed was June-ish, when we had Matt Donnelly on, I believe. So maybe they have moved the bar a bit, right? Maybe the
yeah.
goalposts have moved a little bit. So if you do have any information you're comfortable sharing in the comments in YouTube, let us know.
Yep. No, that sounds good. All right, next up, we've got weird niche sites. I got one. You got one. Mine is kind of interesting because, as I teased in the beginning, I have met this person, uh, physically met this person at a business conference. I was in Atlanta in October for the FinCon conference, and we had a booth for Link Whisper, which shout out, I've got my T-shirt on here for Link Whisper.
Oh, there you go.
And so I was giving out T-shirts at the booth, and a lady came up to me. Her name was Katie. And she says, "Oh yeah, I use Link Whisper," and we chatted, answered questions. And she says, "I've got a website. If you want to check it out, it is katiegoesplatinum.com." And I was like, "What is katiegoesplatinum.com?" And so we pulled it up, and I chatted with her right there. We looked at her website while she was there. I was like, "Man, this is a unique website." So I hate to call it weird, but it definitely is unique and kind of different. And it's all about Katie going gray, gray hair, right? And so ditch the dye and rock your natural gray hair. And it's just kind of about being confident with gray hair, understanding gray hair. And she's got a shop with some products. I think they're digital products, downloads. Yeah. Every Which Way to Gray, everything you need to know about transitioning naturally silver hair, a couple of info products, and then just a ton of resources about, if you're going gray, embrace it, love it, and learn about it. So blog, selling some products, and
Ooh, look at that
has a bunch of
YouTube account.
recommendations. Oh, how's the YouTube account?
Almost 8,000 subscribers.
There you go.
I mean, she's not all of her videos hit. But, oops, sorry. There she is.
No,
She had a video she published, looks like fairly recently, that's over 8,000 views. So she's definitely got
nice.
social channels that are doing
Wow.
well.
Yeah, and she's got, it looks like Mediavine ads on the site, so she's making some money with Mediavine. She has her shop. She's, and she's very involved. Like these are pictures of her, right? She's showing before and after,
Ooh.
different things. Well, and then
In,
she has pictures of other people too, of course. But
in the bottom there, Spencer, in
Mhm.
the footer, check something out. We haven't talked about this much, but it has come up on the podcast before. Look at that web stories link. She has links to all of her web stories she's created.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, cool. I wonder how she does
Yeah.
with her web stories. And yeah, she's very active on social: TikTok, Facebook,
Oh, these are well done.
Instagram,
These
Pinterest.
are,
Yeah.
man, if you're looking
Sites.
for examples of web stories and I don't know how they're doing, it'd be great to hear, but yeah, she's got them all right here. They're really cool.
Yeah. Well, I do have a little more information on
Oh,
how she's doing.
okay. Good
Not
tease.
a ton.
Spencer, I got to tell you, I've complimented you before, but you have really upped your transition game these days. It's on
It's like a
point now.
muscle.
It
You
is on
exercise
point.
this, eventually it starts working. So we are at Ahrefs. If you look at her traffic, she's done well, right? It's kind of mostly been up and to the right.
Little
Looks
helpful
like maybe the
content.
helpful content update, little dip,
Yeah,
but not
not bad.
crazy. Definitely not as bad as we've seen.
Certainly not as bad as we've seen.
Yeah. So, she's ranking. Let's see what keywords she's ranking for here. She's ranking for things like how to go gray, natural gray hair styles, purple shampoo for gray hair, yada, yada, yada. So, and city beauty reviews, I imagine, must be a beauty product for people going gray.
Yep.
So, yeah, pretty much on topic, things that she's ranking for. Now, I don't have like inside information other than while I was chatting with her, she mentioned that she had been on other podcasts and she would be interested in coming on the Niche Pursuits podcast. And so we're going to try and make that happen here so we can get updated numbers. But she was on the Side Hustle Nation podcast with Nick Loper.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from 2020, so it's 2-3 years old. But at that time, she was making $6,000 a month.
Hey, that's very respectable.
$6,000 a month, blogging about gray hair. And if you remember the Ahrefs graph, compared to 2020, she has increased a lot in terms of traffic. So I would suspect that she's making quite a bit more. I don't know. Is it, yeah, double, triple? I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, certainly probably 5 figures a month.
I mean, probably,
blogging
yeah.
about gray hair. So cool website. super nice person. I hope she comes on the podcast. We're going to try and make that happen. But yeah, that's kind of the site. People can check it out at katiegoesplatinum.com.
Looks like a pretty classic, I don't want to say like affiliate style website, but she's got, it looks like reviews of products where she's getting an affiliate commission. I didn't see, does she have display ads on any of her content or articles?
Yeah, she does. She's
yeah.
got some Mediavine ads.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of times the websites we cover here, and certainly the one I'm about to bring up, are very unconventional, but this is a little bit more of a great example of a kind of a conventional website monetization style. Yeah, there's that Mediavine box as you scroll.
Yep.
I recognize that.
Yep, definitely. Kind of a cool site. She's done a good job, it looks like. So, all right, what do you got for us, Jared?
Well, today's website is a big pile of interesting. It's fun though. I'll tell you that much. If you could boot it up for us, we are talking about hoodmaps.com.
Hoodmaps.com.
First off, I was waiting for you to pull it because I want to see what happened to you. It says it localizes where you're at, and every time I open it, it pulls me into Lisbon, Portugal, which is where it pulled you, and you and I are not in the same city, so that's interesting.
Well, okay. It's actually a link directly. Maybe is that the link you shared?
Maybe I shared the Lisbon link.
No, no, you didn't. I refreshed at the homepage, and this is where it came.
Okay, yeah, I might have, because that's where I end up with all the time. But basically, sorry guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see what's going on. This is, and you might have seen it, these have been popular memes going around, and inevitably you end up seeing something on Facebook about your city, but it basically gives a uncharacteristic or more slapstick style map of a region of town, right?
Yeah, I've got Seattle pulled up now.
It's really funny if you are from that town or know that town or city, because inevitably at least half of what they say makes you laugh out loud, right? And so you've got San Francisco. Zoom in if you can, because it gets more fun the closer you get. And so, it's got things like, you've got San Francisco there. So cruise ship tourists.
Seattle. Yeah.
Oh, this is Seattle. I'm sorry. I thought you said San Francisco. Yeah. You've got cruise ship tourists. Another area is called decent upscale bars. Another area is called Nirvana Live at the Paramount in 1991.
The sketchiest McDonald's on earth.
Yep.
Is right here.
Cute otters. Perpetual road construction. I know that area of Seattle. I know exactly what they're talking about. I haven't even been to Seattle in 5 years.
Danger.
I poked around. It's got a lot of cities, like all over the world. It's got so many cities. Bring up San Diego if you can, because I can kind of rattle off a few in my city that I think are fun. And it's interesting because as you get really drilled in, it's clear they're also pulling in Google Map notable locations. So there you go. So you've got hipsters that can't afford North Park. That's literally where my wife and I's first house was in that area.
Pretty accurate then. Huh?
Out by San Diego State, you've got San Diego State University, the largest university. Teenager makeout point.
Where's that at?
Out there on the right side of the screen, out east.
Oh, there. Oh, which is where all the crackheads sleep.
It's somewhat true. Can't argue with that.
Somewhat true, unfortunately. Okay.
So, beginner hikes. That's very true. So many truths there, right? But here's the thing about
Worst NFL team was here.
Yep.
That's great.
It's a fun website. I don't see a lick of monetization.
Yeah. How does this thing make money?
I have no idea. So if you pulled up an Ahrefs, if you could, I don't know if where we're at with the screen share there.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
We're good to go.
Sometimes just Spencer, a second.
I never even know these days if you're with me here on the podcast.
Well, everything seems to be working today, so let's just fingers crossed.
Listeners don't understand all the editing that's gone into the past couple of weeks here.
This one's smooth sailing. Hood maps on Ahrefs.
Yeah, you got a DR41, so just kind of respectable. 51,000 keywords though. It ranks for neighborhood maps all over the map. All over the map. And it's really fascinating. Like, I think when you type in like Seattle, like there you go, London neighborhood map. I think when you type in London neighborhood map, you're not looking for this map, but you get it. And it's in spot 2 right now.
Yeah. I was just going to do a live search.
I mean,
there it is.
we can't see it on your screen. I think you're still in the Ahrefs tab, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Look at
there we
that.
go.
It's
It's
number one
number
below
one, just under the map pack
image pack. Yeah.
image. Yeah.
Good grief. I mean, I don't think that's what you're looking for when you're typing that in, but somehow the user metrics are saying that people enjoy this more than an actual neighborhood map.
You can give a thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm just trying to think of what else you can do. Is there other pages, or is it literally the whole website is maps for various locations?
Well, I've got to imagine, work with me here, but if you're ranking for
Okay.
neighborhood map queries, like you should have somehow featured listings in each of these areas that you can get referral commissions or something on. I don't know if you can set up. I don't know. Does OpenAI, the world I live in, does OpenTable have an API? I think they do, by the way. And does their API allow for some sort of commissions? Obviously, I'm not in that space, but I think that there could be a little bit more you could be doing, maybe, to create leads or something for businesses in these areas.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't see any other. I'm looking at all their top pages in Ahrefs. I guess I'll pull that up. And it's all the neighborhood maps. Like, I don't see any other pages, right? There's no articles. There's no.
Yep. I'm one step ahead of you. I actually went up to the URL field there earlier and filtered out URLs with the word map in them, and there's nothing.
There's nothing.
No,
Okay.
so I was thinking the same exact thing you were. Like, are they doing other things to internally link to these pages? Is there a content strategy behind all this that somehow is fueling a lot of this ranking? No, these are all just neighborhood pages, to my understanding, have no internal links to each other. They're standalone pages on the website that somehow, with a DR41, are ranking really well, huh?
Yeah. So it's a cool website. It's a fun website. You can check it out.
How are they doing
Maybe
this?
somebody's just passionate about this. Again, anytime they're pulling in descriptions, nobody's manually, I don't think.
Well, look in the bottom
creating all
right. So you
these.
see copyright Mapbox, copyright Open Street Map. So it looks like maybe multiple APIs coming in here. But how are they getting,
Yeah.
El Cheapo Cinema with crusty seats?
I don't know.
That's got to be user generated, or somehow they're working with an expert in that area to come up with that, maybe.
Yeah. I just think maybe it could be like people can comment on Google Maps or tag, a location or maybe on OpenStreet, right? And they leave comments or reviews. Maybe it pulls in frequently mentioned things, and I don't know. It's a good question. If anybody knows how they're creating this, let us know. If anybody knows why they created this, if it's not to make money, also let us know.
Flight path, definitely. That's where Heathrow is.
Yeah. There you go. Well, anything else to say about that website?
No, I told you.
Okay.
There wasn't a whole lot to talk about with this one, except that it's fun. It's a bit whimsical.
Yeah.
It's certainly meme worthy, but how the heck are they making money on that?
That's the question. So a cool website. That interesting. Yeah. Oh man. I would think at some point we're going to eventually run out of weird niche sites, but we haven't yet. You keep finding good ones. So keeping it fun, keeping it interesting. So, but that's all we got for you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Talk about the news. Talk about our shiny objects Amazon influencer program for today. A couple of weird niche sites about gray hair and strange maps. Kind of fun, but most of all, I'm thankful that all the tech work today. Everything appears to have gone well. So thanks, Jared, for sticking around, doing the Niche Pursuits podcast with us. And all the listeners, thank you very much for listening.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. Here's a short clip of Ferry from Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
We got 20 links and placements on massive websites such as The Express, Mirror, Daily Record, and many more, with a campaign about the pros and cons of popular diets. Not bad. This is exactly how we've done it. Our client is a very popular fitness client. We have asked them to provide thorough expert commentary about the pros and cons of the most popular diets. Once we have this information, we put this in a nice email and send it out to 15,000, yes, 15,000 journalists from around the world that write about fitness. So good. And unhealthy. Big publications picked up our story from the email giving our client massive, juicy, saucy, healthy links that are 100% relevant to their website and that will keep the rankings of the website in a great shape. You see what I've done there? I hope this case study inspires and that you will start leveraging expert community type campaigns to land links to your or your client's website, just like we've done it with this campaign.
Thanks for joining us today on the podcast. Just a final reminder that it was brought to you by Search Intelligence. And if you're looking for link building PR campaigns for your website, just head over to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them today. Cheers.